Hello, class. My name is Kiana Bailey,
My name is Angel Griggs.
and we're doing a book review over The Unsettled by Ayanna Mathis for Professor Niemer's African American Literature class.
Yes, we are. Okay. So, you want to start
All right.
on the book title or the author?
Well, okay, so just a quick some backstory on the author. Ayanna Mathis is an African American female author. She was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and currently lives in New York City, where she teaches writing at Hunter College. She's written two novels: The 12 Tribes of Hattie, published in 2012, and The Unsettled, published in 2023. I also found, I don't think it's a novel because it's not listed as a novel, but I think it's a story. I found that she wrote A Violent Woman, and that was in 2022. There may have been a story, not necessarily a novel, but I did see it listed. So I just wanted to give a little backstory on the author. The book, of course, once again, is The Unsettled. It's an African American multi-generational fiction novel set in the late 1980s. It's also classified as a historical fiction and a coming-of-age novel. Angel, you got anything to add?
Yes, so basically we're going to be talking about, the Unsettled. We're going to get into the book cover, about what it actually means, because you can actually make multiple book covers about this book, and also we've seen another book cover on the audio, as you can see, which Kiana will show you.
So what's really cool is that the audio version, the cover is really nice and vibrant and orange with some tones of yellow. It's one big tree with deep roots and a sun in the background and some birds. I personally like this.
That cover more.
Yeah, I like this
because
cover.
Of the tree. Tree can mean a lot.
Yes, a big tree.
Symbolical, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word, right? Symbolical?
Symbolic.
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 Symbolical.
I personally am not a fan of cool colors. I feel like this cover could be a little better. However,
but it does have a meaning, the cover. As you can see, the fire around it, fire can mean anything. It can be a good meaning, it can be a bad meaning, or it can mean your life's on type, like something in your life is not going right. It could be belonging, motherhood, anything.
Fire can also be a motif. I think fire is a motif within the book because Bonaparte actually, we'll get more into that deeper in the podcast, but Bonaparte actually gets set ablaze. And also the compound where the ark is set ablaze as well. And then also fire is symbolic for things like purification, chaos, burning. It can be an unsettling feeling if you're someone who's just like restless in life, so it can represent unsettling, like Angel said. Also, there's three people here on the cover. I believe this yellow person is Tucson.
I think so too. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, because he's a little boy. Yeah, and I think the other two people might be Cass and Ava, maybe. Yeah. Unless it's Duchess and Ava, because that.
No, but this could be a man though. If you really look, even though we can't see a face, we're thinking.
And I think it's left up to your interpretation because what Angel was saying, she thinks this person is the man. I actually thought this person might have been Ava because she's slender. I thought this person might have been Cass because they're a little thicker, or it could have been Duchess herself, like because she could be in a muumuu. So I think it's up to the readers.
I do see like a little skirt. It looks like, or a dress. Okay.
See. So then there's also the trees. There's the trees. Bonaparte is in rural.
I didn't even see that. You're right. The trees at the bottom also comes into tap with the trees on the audio. Okay.
And Ava and Duchess are from Bonaparte, Alabama. Tucson isn't from there, but he has roots there. He has rights there, which is something that Duchess talks about in the novel, like she really wants Ava to come home because Ava has, she has history, she has home, she, would have money, she has stuff there, which Ava could be settled there, but I think that's, really ironic and maybe what the author was wanting to convey. That Ava won't settle. But the book does start off with Toussaint on his own going to Bonaparte, and the book ends with him going to Bonaparte. So that could
be a symbol of he might settle. They finally might settle.
Might. Hopefully. Paula Toussaint been through a lot, but
we gonna get into that too. More into that about him being through a lot with his mother that's unsettled.
Yes, they live an unsettled life. So just to give a quick summary, Ava, Toussaint, and Duchess are the main characters of the book. There's appearances from Cass and Abemi who are more so, I think, mid-level characters, and then we have some minor characters like Melvin and Winnie, and I think his name was Zeke, and the different people at the compound. But quick summary: Ava and Toussaint. Toussaint is Ava's son. Ava is a single black woman in her 40s raising a preteen boy. Toussaint is 10 to 13 in the book. They had recently been kicked out of Ava's husband's home, Abeme, due to a number of odd reasons. They just really weren't a good fit anyway. They just got married to get married, truly. But they were kicked out and put on the street. Ava and Toussaint had to live in a shelter. All kinds of chaotic things happened while living in the shelter, but in the time of the shelter, Ava experienced a lot of mental issues, exhaustion, chaos, just trying to find control where there isn't any. And Toussaint spent all of that time growing up. He spent all of that time pretty much not going to elementary school. That's how young this boy is. He wasn't going to elementary school, but he was hanging out, traveling the city on his own, sticking up for himself.
That's another thing about he didn't have guidance really, because Ava was having her own struggles of trying to figure out where they're going to stay, food, So Toussaint kind of raised himself in a sense, which caused him, to feel he was basically lacking in a lot of stuff throughout the story, and you would be able to see that with Toussaint.
He spent a lot of time with people that were downtrodden on the streets. He spent a lot of time with junkies, drunks, looser women, and
which no kid should be around.
But I found it interesting with him being a male child, he wasn't scared. So that could either be the fact that he's desensitized in a way and traumatized at a young age. So
you're right.
He's
seen so much and he's been through so much. Even that kind of lacks into not really personal, but I've known people that's been in shelters before and stuff like that, and you see a lot of different stuff in shelters, even being a child. So that ties into what you said basically about Toussaint.
So he could, on one hand be traumatized and desensitized, and on the other hand he could be curious because he's at that age, he's learning from these different people. While all of these people were struggling people, he also learned a lot from them. They taught, he even received a switchblade from a lady that he spent the day with, just talking
which is
to.
Crazy, yes.
And all of them would encourage him to go to school or don't be bad or don't this, that, and the third, but they also told him a lot about their lives, the living conditions, what it's like being in those type of people in those type of environments, which he's already kind of living anyway. So I think those are pivotal moments that we don't get to see at the end of the book. We as the readers are unsettled as well,
which
because
they really do need to add stuff